You see it only in Asia. Asia is where the pageant
money is at.
It's where not Latin America. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela has been winning crowns for like 30 years. They still have not produced one international pageant in their country. NGI 2019, that was an exception. That was not Venezuelan money. That was Thai money. Okay.
I mean, we're not looking at producing an event. I mean, we're talking a potential sponsorship opportunity. So if there are sponsors in the market that want to use Miss Universe,
well, even the sponsors are Asians this year. There are 3-4 Asian sponsors this year, except for Jacqueline Aguilera.
So they need to go and romance the market.
All the girls were screaming for the countries. It's like Miss Grand almost. You know, the only thing was missing was Miss Universe before the country's name, like Miss Universe Albania. You know, I think Miss Universe is heading that way. It was Miss Grand.
To be honest, I don't like that introduction. I think that the girls, I prefer the introduction, you know, back in the Donald Trump era. You know, that they with the voices of the girls screaming, but with the national costume, like 2008. I really like that one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoy was that exclusion and being like women, women, women. Yes, I'm for women, women, women. I am for women, women. I was there for these women, but it doesn't mean that I'm less of a feminist because I'm a man. Like I can be a feminist and be a man. I'm supporting these women. I'm all for these women. You don't have to exclude me when it is not secret that every single girl on that stage had maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 gay men behind them. Yeah, supporting them, helping them, making them be what they are.
Or 10 get political, because I have some opinion about
I don't want to get political.
I think, well, okay, if you don't want to be political, I will. Okay. This is my personal opinion, and I think it might offend some people, but I really don't care. I think that pageants should start accepting Russian contestants again. Because, as you know, the war is still going on. The Russians are still in the Ukraine and whatnot. Most Russians do not approve the war. And they are suffering as well as the Ukrainian people are suffering. So I don't think it's fair to politicize pageantry, because pageantry is all about goodwill. It's all about mutual understanding. It's all about establishing peace and good relationships between all countries. Okay, so I don't understand why pageant organizations are refusing to accept Russian delegates. I mean, look at Miss Universe. Thank God, Miss Universe still accepts Russian delegates, and I'm happy. I think Miss World as well, and Miss Grand as well. But Miss Supranational, I don't understand the logic behind it. I know Supranational is based in Poland. The Polish history is filled with bloodbath and violence committed by Russians in the past, but that's the past. Let's move on.
I mean, it's everywhere in the world, right? You can bribe anyone in any industry, but like figuring out a page which I was looking up to so much, and I realized that they are being bribed by certain country to only post about their contestant, and when they post about other girls, they post the ugliest pictures. I was like, my heart dropped. I was like, why? Like, you are a fan and then you do these things. So are you a fan, or are you doing it for money? It's just, I don't know. I don't like this unfairness, you know?
20 seconds. And did you notice too, in the Mr. category, the guys had 30 seconds instead of 20 seconds. Go figure.
Actually, there was no speech for Mr. Did you not notice that?
The Q&A, the top 5.
Oh, yeah,
Q&A. They had 30 seconds to respond.
But I think they should have speech for men too, because how is that fair to have for female to have a speech and a Q&A, but for male, there was nothing for top 10. They just had to like walk in, I think, suits.
Because women are judged more harshly than men.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I think it should be fair. Like the treatment should be fair, equal.
Yeah. Yeah, and that explains why, you know, the Miss gets $40,000 compared to the Mr. who only gets $10,000.
Talk about this more often. I think they need to be not scared about the fact that this is going on. Women need to speak up. Women in general. I have been a victim of sexual abuse and all that sort of thing. So I advocate that in my country. And I always want to be in that platform where I can say what I need to say that'll empower women in its truest sense. So women have to speak up. And we see a whole lot of nonsense, and we just see all the fun glamour part of it, and we ignore it. So when does it stop, right?
I do not agree in pregnant women to be competing. I work in the medical field as a registered medical assistant. How a freaking pregnant woman is going to be traveling and it's high risk? Maybe it's her first baby. How you as a mother going to leave behind your kids with your husband? God knows how's the economy in Guatemala. He would need to be working 4 jobs to take care of that just because his wife is just traveling the world, living the dream. You know, I'm sorry, but there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah. Conan, if you're watching the
don't
show, I know you blocked me on your social media account, but just in case one of your peons, is watching the show and reporting back to you, please consider selling Miss Universe to Nawat, okay? Because Nawat.
But then, like I said, the weird grand one and only came somewhere along the pandemic, I believe, and it split the pageant in 2. So now, for example, we see Isabella, stunning winner, great Miss Grand International. Did they ever take her to any place to do something about stopping the war and violence? I don't think so. And this is something
too delicate for that.
He used to do this with the former title holder. So if he wants to keep the platform, he should keep working for it. Otherwise, just drop it.
Exactly. What I didn't like was the bathing suits this year from MGI. Those bathing suits were horrible. Not everybody could use that type of bathing suit. It didn't flatter nobody's body, honestly. Girls that had big, breasts, that didn't flatter. I felt bad. It was the color, it was dull. So I felt
Well, let me see. Wait, hold on. It was the perfect swimsuit style for Miss Grand Trinidad and Tobago to hide her muffin top.
Talking about the production itself, it was really lackluster. I've seen better province pageants in Thailand, for Miss Grand Thailand, that do a lot better job than the Miss International pageant.
Yes.
Which is supposed to be held in Japan, out of all the countries that have high technologies. So they cannot even have an excuse to say, we are lacking in this department, but Japan has the highest internet speed. They have advancement in technology, everything. So you don't have an excuse. So I don't know why they are going backwards. I feel Miss International is holding back in terms of going forward. So for me, that's a huge issue. And I did not like it. The production for me was no.
They're headed. They don't know what they are. They used to. We knew when we fell in love, like all of us as younger kids, we fell in love with Miss Universe because of the entertainment, the glamour, the wow factor, seeing these just beautiful women take on careers that we could not even imagine. And that's lost. Now Miss Universe wants to try to be something that it really isn't. And it keeps pushing something that it is not. It tries to feed us this inclusion thing, but the reality is that how many years have we have, like you said before, 2012, accepting trans women? No trans women has ever made it. No plus size woman, that real plus size woman, has ever made it. It's just silly. You've never seen a girl that, I don't know, is messed up in the face win Miss Universe, right? It's not about inclusion. Oh, because she's nice? It's not. It's all a lie. And I think that's what another pageant has in their favor, is that they're not telling you BS. They're telling you, we're going to pick the winner. We're going to do it however the fuck we want. And you don't know what's going to happen, but that's how we're going to sell it to you. And you're going to like it. And it's better that way. It's better that you be honest. And Miss Universe, in my opinion, is not being honest. We love Miss Universe.
I love Miss Universe.
Correct. Out of all the pageants, it has the most powerful brand out there. Everybody knows Miss Universe, right? I don't think we're Joey, we're actually not bashing Miss Universe. We're pretty much just sharing our insights and our opinions on what we see is happening with the organization. And I think now is a really good time for this kind of discussion, especially with being really the first year that Kudan has the opportunity to really show what she's capable of and what she's going to bring to the table. So it's definitely not bashing. I'm so sorry that you think that way and you feel that way. But I think we just kind of wanted to make it clear, and I can confidently speak on behalf of the other men here in the panel, that we are not bashing Miss Universe. In saying that, I do think the pageantry in general is in a downswing. I think it's pretty much, it's not catching up with, the social values that's currently evolving. Sadly, in my opinion, I think the way where Miss Universe currently is heading, I think it's going to be dead in the water in a few years. And I think the only brand that's going to actually endure, unfortunately, would be Miss Grand.
Advantage. And when it comes to Thailand, and I say this, that I love Antonia. I was rooting for her since the time she won. And even when I felt she underperformed, I was still rooting for her right up till the finals. I was just hoping that she's going to win. But the thing is that I really was completely underwhelmed with my expectation, not with her performance, but with my expectation that I had because of what she served me at the nationals. I felt the international was a bit of a copy. She came out in the preliminary and in the finals in gowns that were so similar to the nationals
exactly.
that I was not shocked with that wow moment. I really feel that how she looked in her national pageant was so much more strong. And what she even said, like I can think, pick out the things that she answered in the national pageant and make that viral in the world and say that were wow answers, but not from Miss Universe itself.